PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to another edition of PACTV Community News. I'm Brian Sullivan. We're back this week with information on the proposed meals tax in Plymouth.
We'll also bring you to a murder mystery in Pembroke and an archaeological presentation in Kingston.
Duxbury High School sponsored a fundraising antique show, and Town Talk comes from Pembroke.
Our local Eats Restaurant Review segment brings us to an upscale tavern in downtown Plymouth. And our first story tonight brings us to Kingston. As part of the archaeological survey and recovery being conducted by Public Archaeology Laboratory on the local Hall property, the town hosted a presentation by senior archaeologist Dr. Diana Doucette and project archaeologist Aaron Flynn to share the results of their research and its connection to the heritage of Kingston.
Tonight we were giving this presentation for the Kingston Historical Commission and to let everybody in town know the results of the excavation, the archaeological excavation that we did out of the Hall property site. They were the real proponents on getting the dig together with the Community Preservation Committee, and we ended up finding huge Native American site that dates as far back as 8,000 years ago up until maybe 400 years ago.
It was an amazing site to work at. I hope that the people of Kingston, after today's presentation, can see how rare, unique, and amazing the site is, and hope that their decisions in the town and in the future reflect what they learned today about Native Americans in the past 8,000 to 1,000 years ago.
I came onto the site as a cultural resource monitor for the Aquinnah-Wampanoag tribe. We were monitoring their archaeology, and we have some input into the process as far sometimes as where the concentration of digging is, how things are explored, some of the interpretation of the material as well. Certainly to bring some of that information back to our own communities. It's very important. The most amazing thing about this site is that it's so intact. It is not disturbed at all. It is pristine.
We're hoping tonight that we would open their eyes or at least answer their questions about what was found out there and why this site's pretty unique and a rare thing for this area of the country.
Pembroke Library was transformed last week into a real murder mystery event called Death by Chocolate, Murder in the First Degree. The Friends of the Library put on the event to help raise funds. PACTV volunteer and PCN producer Art Edgerton taped the entire performance and is editing it now into a full show. You can catch it on this channel Saturday, March 29th at 9 p.m., as well as Tuesday, April 1st at 7 p.m. For additional plays, you can go to the public channel schedule tab at pactv.org. There were some big names from town who starred in the murder mystery, and PCN was also there to capture the fun.
This is the fundraiser for the Pembroke Library, and it is a murder mystery. So there are 8 characters who will go through their scenes, and folks will try to figure out who done it. One of our characters will get murdered, and somebody on stage is the guilty party.
Mr. Bolter, fabulous. We're working on a book deal for him. It's going to be called How to Run a Government. Here's I can give me 3. Cheers!
Majesty, your political aspirations have yet to get in the way of your superficial personality. Yet, you have made quite a stereotype for one of my latest characters. I thank you for that.
Tell you, if you could make me out. I don't know. Do you want some lipstick?
I don't know what I want.
Get a grip, man. Oh my God.
She was my
People are dropping like flies and
She wasn't.
For God's sakes, I lived out in the Pine Barrens. That's where we drop the bodies. I don't get this stress. My God.
I'm from the government and I'm here to help. So what do we have here?
She's dead.
Are you sure she's dead and just not bored from the outdated books in this library? No, she's deader than a doornail.
How are you, Bonzo? Good to see you again, as always. And this must be the lovely Mrs. Bonzo. Enchanting. Enchanting.
Inspector Trousseau reporting. I am proud to be a member of the Pembroke Police Department, and rest assured, my friend, this case will be solved.
This case will be solved?
Solved.
I need it solved.
Oui, monsieur.
I thought it was excellent. They did a great job. It was a great evening. And people that didn't come tonight, I hope they'll come the next time. It was a great evening.
I think it was wonderful. It was really outstanding.
Oh, it was terrific. I loved it. It was, yeah, it was very entertaining. Our guest was wrong, but it was very entertaining, and we'd love to do it again.
I thought it was terrific. I had no clue who it was, but it was great fun anyway.
It's fantastic. The Friends are always raising money for the library. It's nice to see such a large turnout.
I'm in charge. It's okay. Yep. Okay. Very good. Very good, Chief. Okay. You do that. Okay. Excellent. Good. Good on my Facebook page.
Selfie! Selfie!
The town of Plymouth is considering opting into the meals tax this spring at the special town meeting Saturday, April 5th, after getting the necessary signatures to bring it to a vote as Article 9. This is not the first time Plymouth has considered it, but the third. It failed both times in the past, with opponents citing confusion over what the money would be used for and from pushback from local restaurants. This year, the language of Article 9, should it be passed, will allow Plymouth to put an additional 0.75% tax on meals purchased in Plymouth restaurants. This is an optional additional tax cities and towns in the Commonwealth are allowed to add to the current state rate of 6.25. Currently, there are 181 municipalities in Massachusetts that have opted into this additional tax. Most towns use the funds collected for specific uses such as parks, road repair, and sewage treatment. In Plymouth, funds collected from this tax would be used exclusively to pay for the $35 million renovations to the 1820 courthouse to be turned into a new municipal center. The language also includes a sunset clause, which would end the meals tax in 2040. Proponents for Article 9 cite the benefit of using meals tax funds to pay for the renovations in lieu of raising property tax on homeowners, because meals tax is something that is paid by anyone who eats out in Plymouth establishments, including tourists and guests from other towns. Others sought for more information on a split tax solution between local businesses and restaurants. The Board of Selectmen voted unanimously to recommend Article 9 to Plymouth Town Meeting after a lengthy discussion among board members and from public input. Plymouth Town Meeting members will have the opportunity to vote for or against Article 9 on Saturday, April 5th, as part of the Spring Town Meeting.
This month, the Duxbury High School Booster Club held their 33rd annual Spring Antique Show. The show, which included antique dealers from all over New England, is to benefit athletic programs at the high school. PCN stopped in to meet the organizers and to learn more and see some of the antiques.
Today we have 50 antique dealers from all over the state, and they're typically dealers that have been here year after year after year. And what we do is, it's really, it does take a village. I mean, there's so many people that are involved in it. And the people from the kitchen, they go out to all the local restaurants and they solicit either donations of food or gift cards or things like that, and they do all that. And then the bake table gets all the athletes in the school. They're expected to donate a baked item for the bake sale. And the advertising, we advertise in the Clipper. We put posters all around the South Shore in all different towns, and there's volunteers that take, each town and go out. So there is a lot of volunteers, and a lot goes into it.
The bake table, it's for people donate food items, and we ask everyone who has a child who plays a sport, for every sport they play, to bring something in for a donation, and people are very generous. Last year, just from the bake table, we made $3,200, and so what we do is we take what they bring in and we rewrap them on plates that we collected throughout the year and tie them with ribbon and flowers and make them look nice, and it's a big hit.
March 1981, in my opinion, was the beginning of something really, really big for the Duxbury Booster Club. Carol Cass bringing the idea of an antique show to the Booster Club was really phenomenal, because at that point in time, all us young parents had raffle tickets in our pocket, trying to raise money for the kids, bake sales, and it just went on, and we weren't really doing that well. The kids needed money for jackets, trophies, banners, and even at times some help for the buses to take the kids to tournaments. So this idea was really fantabulous, as I say. As time went on, I couldn't even begin to mention the people that were involved to make the show a success. I mean, you couldn't mention everybody because you'd definitely leave somebody out. And I must give praise to the young people in recent years that have done a wonderful job just keeping this tradition going and making money for our wonderful kids. And plus, it's a nice social community thing, and we can't believe it's the 33rd year.
So it's a show as well as a sale. There are people that will come to just walk through and see all of the interesting things and maybe remember something that they remember seeing at their grandmother's house. But it's also a sale, so people are coming and finding treasures and, buying things to take home.
The Plymouth Philharmonic is a 30-piece ensemble of dedicated local musicians. Now in its 98th season, the Phil is holding its annual High School Choral Consortium, an educational collaboration with area schools. The concert includes choral high school groups from Duxbury, Marshfield, Pembroke, Plymouth, Scituate, and Silver Lake Regional High School. The youth perform along with the Philharmonic Orchestra at Memorial Hall in Plymouth. PCN visited a recent rehearsal to learn more about this incredible educational experience for youth.
Thank you. We started them because we know participation continues the passion. That first-hand connection to the music continues the passion.
Page 9. Here we are. Tenors.
It's a different feel. When he enters the room, it's just like you have to be perfect.
Many people who know me know that it's not just seeing a concert, but participation is the key. If you want to actively listen, that's one way. If you have to actively perform, learn, however, but just sitting there and not being connected to the music is not something that A, makes sense to me, and B, is something that we want to espouse.
the songs are a bit more complicated than ones we've had in the past. Also, we have a little bit less time to work on them as a whole group because we only meet here, I think this is like the third time and the only time where it's just us and the piano, and then we have the orchestra coming up next. Especially the pianist, Vicky. Everyone loves Vicky because she just helps us with everything. So kudos to her.
Pembroke has always been one of the most prepared schools, so I always try and help out other singers that don't understand or other things like that. So that's definitely been a good learning experience for me.
Everyone's so nice here just because we're all music kids. We're all here for the same reason, to sing, and it's just better because you don't have people who are like, oh, I kind of like to sing. You have people who are like, I love to sing and I want to be here, and that's just like, it's a great feeling that people love music just as much as us.
He's very animated. He gets into it. He does different things to try and help you, like learn, what you may have done wrong this time, what would have made this a little bit better. You can tell he knows not just the parts that go along with, he's a tenor, he knows the tenor, but he also knows the bass, he knows the alto and the soprano, and he helps everyone with the tone, pronunciation, and everything.
A really great experience. I love working with the kids from the other schools because even though we've all learned the same music separately, it's great to come together and hear advice that they have from their directors and different things that they might have worked on, and really hear the whole sound of a bunch of different schools coming together and working as one. So it's been a really great experience, and I've definitely learned a lot.
Our local Eats segment is back this week from the Waterfire Tavern, located inside the John Carver Inn in downtown Plymouth. PCN correspondent Donna Rodriguez met up with this family-operated upscale tavern to hear more about their nightlife offerings.
If you're from the Plymouth area, surely you know the John Carver Inn, filled with colonial charm and hospitality. From the Pilgrim Cove pool to the Hearth and Kettle family restaurant, many of us have memories of wonderful visits and family meals. But if you haven't been here lately, you haven't been to Waterfire Tavern, an upscale and contemporary break from tradition, featuring an eclectic menu of small bites, craft beers, local sounds, and of course, dining by Waterfire. Tony Allen, chef here at the John Carver Inn. Tell me about this menu at the new Waterfire Tavern. What did you do to develop this break from tradition?
Well, with the Hearth and Kettle, we had a lot of traditional items, and it's been here for a long time, and we wanted to try something new, so we decided to go to an upscale contemporary menu to try to capture the guests that were going to different places and trying new things, so we thought we'd give them something new to try.
And you have a lot of very fun small bites. Tell me about a couple of the items that are really popular.
One of them is the turkey and stuffing egg roll. We tried to go with the theme that the Hearth and Kettle has had for years. So we rolled that up into an egg roll, and people seem to like it.
And it's a perfect small bite with all of the Thanksgiving flavors built in.
Like having Thanksgiving dinner in an egg roll.
Now tell me about the arancini balls. I know those are very popular here.
Arancini balls is a rice and sausage ball. We have it stuffed with cheese in the middle, so when you cut into it, the cheese oozes out. And like I said, just small plates so you can get 2 or 3 appetizers when you come in, and it's like having a meal.
Jeff, this looks fantastic, and I can't wait to start tasting. But one of the other real features here are your craft beers and the way you designed your menu. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. I think the best thing about our draft beer lineup right now is all of our draft beers are brewed right here in Massachusetts. So it works out really well where we have a lot of travelers coming in to the inn from all over the country, all over the world. It's a great opportunity just to show people what Massachusetts has to offer in the world of craft beers.
Tell me about some of the flavors you have here for us today.
Okay, so we have the Sankey Light, which is a Cisco brew from Nantucket. The Cape Cod Red, brewed down in Hyannis. My favorite, the Jack's Abbey, brewed up in Framingham, Mass. And then the local Mayflower Porter, brewed right down the street here in Plymouth.
What would you recommend I try with these fabulous bites?
Why don't you go ahead and try my favorite, the Jack's Abbey. That should go well with the sweetness.
Always a good recommendation. And this is a great recommendation. I love there's a bright citrus in there that really goes well with the bites.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I think it's time for us to now move on and try one of your signature foods here as well.
All right, sounds good.
So Joe, as general manager here at the Waterfire Tavern, it must have been so exciting to be a part of this entire transformation. Tell me a little bit about the design of this tavern and how you came to just the beautiful design that we see around us.
It was really the owner. He came, he had an idea, and he got some designers together, and he wanted to build a water fountain, and he decided that we were going to build a bar around it, and quite honestly, it's been very successful for us, and the local people and our guests at the hotel here have all liked it. As you look at some of the architecture around, we didn't change a lot because we wanted to make people feel comfortable that this was what they remembered. We just made it nicer.
And the features that you've added, the lights, the color, the teardrop pendants over the bar, all of it is absolutely stunning.
All the artwork was done by a local artist, Chris Roberti, who did all the ice sculptures and the murals on the wall as well.
And what I would love to do to close out today, you have an amazing, amazing fire bowl that just I've been hearing about from everybody. Are we going to have an opportunity to try that and show that to our viewers?
We are. We have our bourbon cheese and smoked Gouda cheese bowl, sorry. And we also have our chocolate fire bowl as well.
Joe, I think we need to conclude our visit here getting to taste these amazing fire bowls. Oh, and they look incredible already. Thank you so much. For PACTV Community News and Local Eats, I'm Donna Rodriguez.
Town Talk this week comes from Pembroke's Town Administrator Ed Thorne, who prepares us for the upcoming months in Pembroke.
Well, hi folks, this is Ed Thorne, Town Administrator here in Pembroke, and we're looking forward to the April events. And historically, this is a busy time of year for the town. You know, it's going to culminate with the annual town meeting, which is on Tuesday, April the 22nd. And that's the town meeting in which all of the town budgets, a lot of zoning bylaws, some other bylaws that are being proposed by towns, and union contracts and non-union personnel payrolls are established. So there's a lot of work going on right now between the Board of Selectmen, the Town Administrator's Office, and the Advisory Committee, and we'll be putting together all of the documents for town meeting approval in a couple of weeks. One of the other things that we've got coming up in April for the residents' benefit is our Hazardous Waste Day, which will be held April the 12th, which is a Saturday. That'll be at the Recycling Center on Hoppemuck Street. And on our town website, you'll be able to see the items which we'll be able to take. And this is free of charge. This is all included in your trash fee that you folks pay for when you have your trash picked up at the curb and your recyclables. And it also pays for your recycling bins that you receive, pays for the capping of the landfills. So all of that goes in towards a budget which is around almost $1.9 million a year. So, but the Hazardous Waste Day, which we have semi-annually, once in the fall and once in the spring, will be held on Saturday. It'll open at 9 o'clock, and we'll be taking your hazardous waste materials collected by Clean Harbors, the company that specializes in this, and we'll be taking them until about 1 o'clock. While we're talking about solid waste, that's one of the other things that the Board of Selectmen will be dealing with in the month of April, where we'll be solidifying our contracts with our trash hauler, Mike Delpre, hopefully working with an arrangement with the school department with their recycling program as well, and also about where we dispose of our trash. And right now, the two companies that are vying for our business are CMAS in Rochester and ABC Disposal, also known as New Bedford Waste, and they're also based in Rochester. So we'll be hopefully putting together a 5-year plan for the residents so that we know exactly how much we're going to be spending for our solid waste disposal over the next 5 years. So that's our April report, and we look forward to having all you folks at the annual town meeting, and hopefully you'll cast your vote for the people that are running for offices the following Saturday here at Town Hall. So have a good evening.
Thanks for watching PACTV Community News. Replay times are listed at pactv.org. Click on the PCN tab to view each complete edition or individual story.
We are scheduling stories for this spring and summer, so send your ideas to kim@pactv.org. We are looking for stories about local people, businesses, organizations, and events.
See us on YouTube by searching for the PACTV Community News channel. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to receive previews each week with links to all our stories.
Thanks for watching, and join us next week for another edition of PACTV Community News.